somewhere over the Indian Ocean, there's a small propeller plane that is flying in small circles. That belongs to the Mauritius Coast Guard. It's a very chill job, very chill plane. What is not chill about that? That plane was built in Bengaluru by an Indian company. That small single piece of unglamorous surveillance aircraft was the biggest industrial turnaround this country has ever pulled off. Because a decade later, India is selling supersonic missiles. I'm serious. Let me show you that. So, a quick reality check. For most of India's independent lives, we were not good at this. Like, world's largest single arms importer, not good. Not one of the biggest, but the biggest. We were buying tanks from Russia, fighter jets from France, submarines from Germany, drones from Israel, transport planes from America. And here's the part that's genuinely shocking. We were even buying bullets. Our own indigenous rifle, the INSAS, took so long to develop. When it finally arrived, it came with so many problems that a lot of our soldiers reportedly preferred the old foreign guns. The Arjun tank, 37 years from concept to actually being used. The Tejas fighter jet, program launched in 1983, cleared for operations in 2011. That's basically an entire lifespan of an average millennial. And that's just the starting point. Just keep this image in your head. And now let me show you where we ended up. In financial year 2025, India exported defense equipment worth 23,622 crore rupees. Roughly $2.8 billion in a single year. Now, 2.8 billion in defense terms is not an enormous number. America and Russia are selling 10 to 15 times of that. But it is not the number that matters here, it's the slope. Because 11 years ago, in the financial year 2013 to 14, this number was basically nothing. What you're looking at is a 34-fold increase in a decade. And the target for 2029 is 50,000 crore. That's another doubling. So how did we get from we can't make our own rifles to now we are selling our own? 3 things changed. Okay, so don't tune out. I'll make this really quick because policy stuff is boring. But this is genuinely the reason why your car and the country's missile factory share the same parent company. 1, the government opened the sector up. For 70 years, making defense stuff in India required so many licenses, approvals, and permissions that private companies just didn't bother. Around 2014, foreign investment limits went up. Licensing got simpler, and suddenly Tata, Mahindra, L&T, Bharat Forge, Adani, the biggest names in the Indian industry, started setting up defense divisions. 2, if a foreign company wanted to sell weapons to the Indian military, they now had to make them in India. Meaning, build factories here, hire people here, transfer the technology here. So over 10 years, the actual manufacturing muscle got built. And 3, defense industrial corridors. 2 of them, one in Uttar Pradesh and one in Tamil Nadu. Basically giant zones where defense companies could cluster together, share supply chains and stop competing for the same 3 welders. 200 plus companies moved in. And that's where the fun started. Alright, let's do the fun part now. What is India actually selling? The star of the show? The BrahMos, supersonic cruise missile, flies at almost 3 times the speed of sound, range up to 500 kilometers, built by a joint venture in India's DRDO and Russia. The Philippines bought 3 shore-based batteries for $374 million. The first time India has ever sold any missile to another country. Vietnam and Indonesia are in line. The HAL Dhruv, that's the advanced helicopter, has been sold to Ecuador, Mauritius, Nepal and Maldives. Bharat Electronics sells radars, electronic warfare systems and night vision to over 20 countries. And here's the sneaky one nobody talks about, ammunition. The European countries, the ones sending shells to Ukraine, ran through their stockpiles fast. They started buying from Indian companies. Solar Industries in Nagpur, a company most Indians have never heard of, is now exporting explosives and ammunition to over 50 countries. Bullets, shells, helicopters, missiles, warship parts, all being packed up here in India and being shipped out. Now the biggest change here isn't any single weapon, it's who's making them. In 2010, there were essentially 0 Indian private companies that were making complete defense products. 0. It was just Hindustan Aeronauticals Limited, Bharat Electronics, and the old government-owned ordnance factories. But today, Tata Advanced Systems is building helicopter fuselages for Sikorsky. Mahindra makes armored vehicles. L&T builds warships. Bharat Forge makes artillery. Adani makes drones. And then there's a whole layer underneath them: startups, drone companies, underwater robotics, satellite platforms, all designed from day one for a global market. And that changes the whole culture, because private companies do things that PSUs traditionally don't. They price aggressively, they ship faster, they customize for their customers, and pick up the phone when something breaks. In the weapons market, there's a term, combat proven. It means this weapon has been used in real conditions against a real adversary with modern defenses, not just tested on a range. Combat proven weapons are worth significantly more than untested ones. It's the difference between a car that's driven 1,000,000 miles and a car that's still in the showroom. Before 2025, the BrahMos was a very impressive looking missile that was never used in a combat. After Operation Sindoor in 2025, the BrahMos became the only supersonic missile in the world that was available for both export and was actually used in a combat. Now, this is something that you cannot market your way into. This is commercial advantage that cannot be faked. Within weeks, defense attaches from a dozen countries were requesting technical briefings on Indian systems. Deals that had been quietly under discussion started moving faster. Strategic community's assessment of Indian military capability, the whole intangible thing that makes a country a serious defense supplier, updated overnight. Here's the part that goes beyond the weapons. When you buy weapons, you are dependent. You need the supplier for upgrades, for parts, for software, and for training. It's easily a 10-20 year relationship. And this relationship comes with strings. When you export weapons, the strings run the other way. Now the Philippines, Vietnam, Mauritius, Ecuador, they need India for their spare parts, their upgrades, their servicing. India becomes the country they call, and the country you call geopolitically is the country you keep on side. And on top of that, every rupee earned from exports pay the stuff India still has to import. It funds the next generation of research, it builds industrial capability in aerospace, electronics, precision manufacturing, capability that eventually flows into commercial aviation, satellites, EVs, all of it. South Korea and Israel, both of them, build their entire high-tech industrial bases partly on the back of defense manufacturing. India's early on the same road. I want to be honest about what India still can't do. We still can't manufacture complete combat aircrafts in the private sector. We still import high-end jet engines, advanced avionics, and certain critical materials. And some of our exports have hit real problems. The Dhruv helicopters sold to Ecuador and Mauritius had serviceability issues that were publicly reported. Because being a defense supplier isn't just about selling the thing, it's about supporting it for the next 20 years. So we are not America, not Russia, not France, not yet. But we are also not a country that can't make their own rifles either. Come back with me to that plane. The one we started with, then flying over Mauritius, looking for fishing boats. That aircraft was not a world beater. The deal was small. The customer was a tiny island nation with Coast Guard, not an army. But the deal was real. Indian engineers designed it, Indian workers built it, and Indian salespeople sold it. And it was done well enough for the customer to come back. From that one plane to 23,000 crore in export in a single year is one of the quietest and the most underrated industrial stories of modern India. This is just the effort of 10 years of policy, of factories, of engineers, of people showing up every single day. At Vayam, we cover industries that build, defend, and reshape this country. If this is the kind of story that you like, then subscribe. There's a lot more coming. See you in the next one.